Hey, it's Annie and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share a chatty get ready with me. I will list everything in the description below with everything that I am wearing. I'm going to be sharing a couple of products. One of these I've tried already. It is the YSL All Hours Foundation. And I'm also using the YSL, I never can say this right, Touche Eclat Radiant Touch Pen, which is not a concealer. This one is a highlight. This isn't a first impression. I've been using this. I've used this before. These were sent to me complimentary from YSL through Octolate. I was using this. This is the YSL, the All Hours Foundation. It is a matte. It's a flawless matte, full coverage, oil-free, up to 24 hours. It has an SPF of 20, which, you know, you always have to use a sunscreen with it. This is in the color Ivory, and this retails for $54, and it comes in 40 shades. So when I tried this out, I remember really liking this a lot. I was living in Chicago. It was during the winter time, I believe, and it's really dry there, and I loved it. So I've been wearing this here in Florida in the humidity, and I do have to be careful how much I put on, because otherwise it will be like, I'll have a lot of shine. My skin, you can see on camera, my skin is not very good right now. I just got off of hormone replacement therapy. I shared a video on that, and I will try to remember to link it. Since getting off of that, my skin has been going a little crazy. So anyways, I can't use a lot of this, and honestly, I don't like to use a lot of a full coverage foundation. This is something I'll wear again in the winter time here. Not that it gets really cold here, because it doesn't, but definitely is cooler and it's not as humid in the winter time. So I think this will work better for me in the winter time. This is my Chanel concealer, and I've been loving this, but sometimes it's not enough. And what I've been doing is putting this on and my Effescerins. I kind of like that because it kind of color corrects it a little bit. So I just do this. I just put this on top of it. I'm going to I'm just taking a little bit. Can you see that? Just taking a little bit. I don't like to, even with a full coverage, I'm just like really, don't like to put too much on. This has a little bit of a scent, which I'm not a fan of. This one is bearable. It's like you smell it. It's a pretty scent, I will say that. It's a pretty scent. It's really light, but it's not overpowering. So I'm going to take that, whatever's left on here. Oop, I might need a little bit more, actually. Just a little bit. I don't want to use too much. Can you see? Just that little bit. Not even a full pump. When I put my makeup on camera, I still like to put it on the way I wear it in real life, because I just don't like to go heavy with my makeup. So this is really pretty. I'm going to show you close up before I powder or anything. You can see what it looks like. So it's really a pretty finish. Does this last all day without a shine? No, it doesn't. This doesn't, but that's why I have to use very little of this. But I do think this would work better for me in the wintertime. The brightening pen retails for $35. And it comes in 12 different shades. I don't know if I got the right one. I got one that was in a peachy tone. We'll see how this is going to be. So this is not a corrector. So I'm just going to put it here. I have a little bit of shadows there. And I'll put it there too. Right here, right here. You can put it actually around your mouth like that too. I'm just going to take my beauty blender. So it just brightens you up a little bit. A little bit. And it's not heavy, so I like that. So this I am enjoying. Probably not something I would use every day, because I'm more of a less is more with my makeup. But if I wanted to be a little bit extra, I would do that. It comes in this pen. You have the little brush here. When you first use it, you have to click this 30 times to get the product out, but I'm really enjoying it. So let me talk about a little what's been going on with me lately. I shared with you guys that I went to the ER, and I think it was about a month ago. I went there because I thought I was having a stroke. I was having numbness in my left arm, I was having numbness in my left leg, and then I felt pain in my calf. So I was like, I've never experienced it before. I didn't know what was going on. And I was like, I was trying not to overreact because I'm not someone that overreacts. Although when I was 40, I felt like I was dying. I felt like every time, like something would happen and I thought I was dying. I had this, I never experienced it, and I'm like, am I freaking out? Am I overreacting? You don't know what to do because you don't want to overreact, but then you don't want to underreact, because if there is something going on, it's like you gotta take care of it. I ended up going, they did all these tests on me and found out that it wasn't a stroke. But they wanted to do an MRI on me, and I was like, no, because I know what this is costing me already. And if it's not a stroke, I'm probably going to have a heart attack when I see my bill. I didn't get it, but I was like, I probably should get it checked out when I get out of there. So I did make an appointment to see a regular doctor, which I didn't have one already, which I probably should have done. I know. So in the meantime, I see a chiropractor. And I told my chiropractor about what happened, and he was concerned, and he said, I think you need to get an MRI. I went in to have my MRI. And I've had MRIs in the past. I've had them, and it hasn't been that big of a deal. I went here not thinking, not worried about anything. I had a little bit of a headache the day that I went in, and I took a Benadryl before I went in because I just, I had like a sinus headache. It wasn't a headache in the back of my head, but I get sinus headaches too. So I felt like a sinus headache. Usually a Benadryl will help clear that up. But when I take that, I get kind of sleepy. So I went there feeling sleepy, felt relaxed, sat in the chair, and I sat in one of those MRI machines that have it's just like the walls of the machine. Sitting there, there's a TV there. So I'm like, cool, I'll be able to watch some TV. This is going to be good. Okay. Because he said it's going to be 25 minutes. He's like, you can't, when you're getting the test done, when the machine is going, you can't swallow. But when it stops, then you can swallow. When you tell somebody that you can't swallow, what do you want to do? You want to swallow. Why are you telling me that? It's like if you tell somebody you can't itch or you can't move, then you just want to move. You know what I mean? I go in the machine, feeling good. I have this thing on my head too, and I have this I don't know, looks like this sort of a pillow thing that is on my lap to put my hands on. And then he said, oh, and here's this little squeezer thing. I am going to use my Charlotte Tilbury palette. I love this palette still. There's a new one that just came out, and I just ordered it. So this isn't available, but I'm going to use this. I'm in this machine, and I'm feeling sleepy and everything. So then the noises start. I was like, okay, I don't really, I feel like I don't really remember that part of it. And then all of a sudden this rush came over me, and my heart started racing, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. I was just like panicking. I don't know what happened to me. I thought, like, am I having a heart attack or something? Like, I didn't know what was happening. I'm squeezing the thing. Nobody's coming in, so now I'm panicking even more. The lady finally comes in, gets everything off me, and she's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? Are you okay? You okay? I'm like, there is something wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. My heart is racing. I just felt like this big rush of adrenaline or something like that. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. Like, it's an anxiety attack. And I'm like, no, I don't have anxiety. I don't have that. No, what I'm trying to tell you is that my heart is racing really, really hard, and I feel like I'm gonna pass out. It's anxiety. It happens. And I was like, it's never happened to me. I mean, I don't like to fly, but I don't get anxiety. I'm afraid of heights, but I don't get anxiety. She's trying to calm me down because I'm just all upset. I have to sit down because I feel like I'm going to pass out at this point, and I'm just trying to figure like what in the hell just happened to me. She said, well, what you could do is we could retest you. You can come back later. And I'm like, I'm not going to come back later. No way. I'm not going to feel better about getting back into that machine. And she's like, well, why don't you bring someone with you? And I'm thinking, unless that person's going to go in the machine for me, that's not going to work. She said another thing you can do is you can ask your doctor for some anti-anxiety medicine. And it's like, my doctor is a chiropractor. That's the one that referred me. And my regular doctor that I have never met yet, I can't, they're not going to give me anti-anxiety medicine right now. She said, well, let's reschedule you to come back and blah, blah, blah. So when I got home, I started researching panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and an MRI. And I guess it is a common thing. And I reached out to friends, and you know, some of them said, yeah, I've had MRIs, I listen to music, and someone said that they try to occupy their mind other ways and think about whatever. And then somebody said that they use essential oils, but I thought music, that's it. Go in there to take this MRI. I got it with me, my headphones, and I said, I got my headphones, and she's like, oh no, you can't listen to music. And I'm like, what? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, no, you can't, you're gonna have that thing on your head. And I'm like, but they're earbuds. And she's like, no, well, you're still gonna hear it through it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's gonna help to muddle some of it. Like, I'm gonna have something to really concentrate on, because that TV thing is not gonna work for me. I'm getting upset, and when I get upset, and I don't know if you're like this, but when I get really upset and frustrated, I cry. I just do. When I get really upset and frustrated, I will just cry. I just don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I have my essential oil on. I don't have the other. I'm going to listen to somebody else's advice that told me to just keep concentrating on something else the whole time you're in there. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to either try to plan out my videos or whatever. I'm just going to like talk to myself in my head to get through this. So before I sit down, she said, we're not going to put the head thing on this time, but you have to promise to sit really, really still, and then you can't swallow. So now I've been crying, so I have sinus stuff dripping, not to be gross, but dripping in my throat and whatever, because I'm upset and crying and everything, and that's just what happens. You know, you get a runny nose when you're crying. At least that happens to me. Like, okay, Annie, you need to go. You need to get into a different place in your head, so you don't get upset like you did the last time. I am starting to think about, you know, like I said, my videos and things I want to do and just different things. And I just kept on, like, anytime I was like, because it would get louder and louder and louder. And anytime it would get louder, I was just like, okay. Like, I would just like stutter in my head and talk to myself in my head, because I knew that I had to keep being in this little place in my head. I did it. I don't think it took me 25 minutes, and I did not panic. I actually got through it, which I don't even know how that happened, how I got through it, but I did. So happy. So the results from my test. So like I said, I was having numbness in my arm, and even after I went to the hospital, it was something that's been kind of coming and going with me. I have a slip disc in my neck. When I was I think I was 11. I was riding my bike to school and I got hit by a car. It's not why I had my scar. My scar was caused from a birth defect. So this is another story that I'm going to tell you about. But before I do, that's why I have that arm numbness. So I have to have decompression therapy, which I had for my slip disc in my back last year, which now I'm wondering, was that from the same injury that I'm going to talk about here? That did wonders for my back, because my back was really, really bad, and it's been amazing. Every once in a while I have a back issue, but I've had back issues my whole life. What I had last year was like totally different, you know what I mean? So when I was 11 years old, I was riding my bike to school. And my parents had just bought me this bike. It was the most cool bike. It was like a metallic blue 10-speed bike. Loved it. I was riding my bike to school, and I crossed over to the left side because my school was on the left side. And I was approaching a car that was going to be turning right. So he was going to be turning right, and I was sitting there waiting. So I was sitting there waiting. I saw him, and I thought that from what I remember, I thought he told me to go ahead and go. So I started riding my bike, and he just, it hit me. So it was a close impact. It was like speeding up, he hit me. I don't remember much. I'm sure I went flying in the air. That's probably why I had my injury, and that's, you know, partly what my chiropractor said. He said, you probably have had it all these years, but now that you've gotten older, it's breaking down, okay? I get up, I'm trying to go to my bike. My bike is like all mangled. And all I could think in my head, which is so pathetic and so dumb, but you know, when you're a kid, you're just dumb, I think. At least I was. I got up to get my bike, and because I was so afraid that my parents were, I'm like, my parents are going to kill me. They just bought me this bike. So I'm crying because I just got hit by a car, but I'm more worried about the stupid bike than me. So I'm like trying to get my mangled bike, and I'm trying to walk, and then I fall because I was probably in shock too, I'm sure. And I'm trying to walk, and I have a broken arm, and my knee, I don't know if I broke my knee. I just know I got a cast on both. This Chanel lip stuff, I just want to talk about really quickly. This is like all the rage right now. Not because it's new, it's been around for a while, but it's just kind of resurfacing. So this is so you get like a matte lipstick on one end, a liquid lipstick, and then you get the gloss on the other, which I didn't put the gloss on yet. I'm going to put on in a minute. And I am wearing Mary Rose number 397. So I do like this, but I don't think it's like amazing. And I'm going to tell you why. It does stay on your lips. Okay, like you can, like I can go eat something, I can drink something right now, and this is going to stay on my lips. But as the day wears on for me, it just, my lips get really, really dry. If the gloss could stay on all day and it could feel like this, I would be sold on it. I'm not saying I'm not going to get another one. I may still get it, but just know that it's not like you're going to put this on and 8 hours later your lips are going to look like this, because they're not. So if you are planning on going to a special event and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get this because it's going to last all day and I don't have to fuss with it, don't think that. Still bring it with you. It just, for me, it just looked gross by the end of the day, so I still had to put more on and then pour more gloss on. So what I'm trying to say is, I thought this would be more convenient for me, like I wouldn't have to touch it up, but it's not. Again, I like this foundation. I think it looks really pretty. I'll show you what it looks like again. I think it's pretty foundation. It's going to get oilier as the day goes on. That's just the way it goes. Again, this was not sponsored. This was sent to me complimentary from YSL along with the pen, the highlighting pen. So these two were sent to me complimentary, not sponsored. And I will keep you updated on these. I'm going to keep using them. Probably, like I said, use this more in the winter time. And that is it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you enjoyed this time together. I always enjoy hanging out with you guys as well, even though you're not here with me. I feel like you are, like we're just sitting across from each other, having a little chit chat. So just catching up on things. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you're not already subscribed, please make sure you first give this video a thumbs up. Click that button below, hit the subscribe button. I share new videos every single week. Also click that notification bell too, because anytime I share a new video, you will be notified. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.